for the electronic timing that you tape on, or not tape on, they actually stick on your uniform. And the relays are always kind of interesting to finish a meet. So some coaches scratching their head saying, he's a little tight, better not run this guy, but I'll run that guy. And so at this point, it's kind of the point of no return. You either declare or you're not going to run a relay team. And so that was why I had to make that call. Just as we explained with the women, and there it is with the men, I think number 26 is a familiar body. Didn't that guy win the second section of the mile, getting a little bit of double? Another red shirt athlete there, number 26. Yep, that's Dennis O'Callahan, earlier section winner in the men's mile early, so putting up a good double. And that's O'Callahan. He won a section earlier in the mile. Here he is coming back running the 3. Pretty good double there for the red shirt athlete. For Texas, that's number 12, Logan Emery, and it's early on here in the men's 3,000 meters. And a great meet. And again, we talked about the talents of the student athletes. We talked about the coaching that they had, and the wealth of experience. And the interesting thing about track and cross country, indoor track, outdoor track, and so forth, is the collegiality that the coaches have for each other. A little bit different in some other sports, and I can guarantee you, especially some of your TV sports, very seldom will you see a track coach holding a play sheet in front and trying to disguise what they say, or a ball glove up to their mouth and try to disguise. Most track coaches are very engaging, very friendly. They'll do anything to help not only their student athletes, but they'll be the first to congratulate a student athlete from another school, help and get measurements or anything that they might need. Truly is a shared experience, especially at the collegiate level. I saw it, and I tried to model that as a high school coach. It's fortunate you see that. I see that in swimming. I see it in track and field. I see it in golf. I see it in a lot of other what the colleges call Olympic sports. I don't see it sometimes in some of the other sports, your major or your TV sports. So it's kind of refreshing, at being a fan of all sports as I am, to see this in the world of track and field. So kind of neat to see. And this old Callahan guy is getting a lot of work done today. Strong athlete, as you see there. Probably not one of your finesse sprinter, miler, 3,000 types, but I guarantee you one thing: if you're in a race with this guy, you're going to know you've been in a race. Again, the 4x4 is coming up. Shot puts now has been concluded, and so we're finally finished. I got one announcement to make on the shot put. Ladies and gentlemen, on his very last throw, 19 meters on the money. And if you're good at your metrics, everybody knows that 19 meters on the money is 62 feet and 4 inches, about 20 yards. 19 on the money. On his last throw, Willie Morrison, the Indiana University sophomore, he takes the shot for men. Now, 19 meters on the money. That's the number 3 throw in the United States for Willie Morrison, rounding out. Nothing like saving it for the very last. Nick Ponzio, he takes second, 1887. While you're keeping track of things like that, ladies and gentlemen, 1887, that's the number 4 put in the country for the USC junior. Brian Williams, Ole Miss, well, you're going to be number 4 in the country. So what a great competition down to the last few throws in the men's shot. Nicely done. Handshakes all around, and a great way to end your field of inexperience here at McCravy. So. And I have another announcement to make, and so I'll make that in-house announcement.
The check-in for the 4x4 100-meter relays. You're going to run a 4x4. All 4 athletes, you'll check in at the end of the back straightaway, kind of in that corner next to the triple jump runway. Will get you checked in. You report there, the 4 of you together. Now be aware, got a 3,000-meter race coming up. So as you go to check in, relay teams kind of play heads up on the track like you know. But I'll ask you to check in there for the 4x4s. We'll get your clerks set up and get you to the respective exchange zones in proper fashion. Thank you.
Sometimes you got to be a directional assistant there for a track. Again, a little bit different when you're on a track that's not the normal 200 or 400 where things are just, you check in the same place for every race. So, well organized, and you see that for Kansas is Michael Melgares, the sophomore Jayhawk, in the lead. A couple of Texas Longhorns here. A lot of Big 12 teams come here. And in fact, last night we ran a 600-yard race. A lot of the Big 12 coaches said, that's a great thing. If you have the 600 yards, thank you. We'll throw some guys in there and gals in there and see. Because that is a conference event in the Big 12 Conference. And so they're very grateful to Coach Floreal and his meet committee here at the McCravy Memorial. Now with the 4x4s, what we'll attempt to do is get you some splits and things of that nature. And so we do that unofficially, and we'll have some watches and such on the leading split teams. And with the some help on a standard track, you can get those electronically. On a track there where you have relay exchanges in different spots, you can't do that electronically, and so that's why the good Lord invented stopwatches. And so we'll use a couple stopwatches. I have some assistants up here, and we'll try to split out some of those leading relays and so forth. Fortunately, most of us are experienced coaches. We know how to split a relay, and so what we'll give you, it might be accurate, and then it might be a 1/10 of a second off, but it's pretty doggone close. It gives you a good measure of how fast the student athletes are running. Winding down this section 2 of the men's 3,000 meters. 2,800 meter split. There it is, Maljares, the sophomore from Kansas. He has the lead. Michael Maljares of Kansas, 200 meters to go at 7 minutes 50.6. At 2,800 meters, he's in his last furlong. I don't say furlong very much, but when you're very close to horse country, I suppose it's a good thing to say. Athlete from Purdue is a little bit in arrears there. He'll have another lap to go. Maljares across that line, 8:23.20, nice time. Now, 8:23 there, and if you're pretty good at doing your math and such, that's equal to running the old 2 miles that you did in high school under 9 minutes. And so you got a guy that's running a 9-minute 2 mile, and he did not make the fast race. His seed time put him in section 2. So again, more evidence right there. The clock is a pretty good way to measure. And being a science teacher, I like measurement, but a pretty good way to indicate, gee, we got a lot of talent, but there are lots of levels of good. So a 9-minute 2 mile, which would put you as a state contender and maybe a state champion in your state, gets you in the second race here. So lots of levels of good, and you see that here with the student athletes at the McCravy Memorial. And you just saw that demonstrated by that young man there in your camera. Ethan Hoff was second. His time 8:30. So Kansas ran pretty doggone good there. Jayhawk track program in a state of resurgency, led by their jumpers. And now you see a number of distance runners doing the same thing. Hopefully to be very competitive in that hugely competitive Big 12 conference. That championships again will be in about 4 weeks. So 4x4s declaring, setting up.